to about 25 to 30 years of age. But the average cow is killed between 3 to 5 years of age because her body can't cope, because their bodies collapse. When you go home and Google the word downed cow. It's when a cow has collapsed. She can't get up. Her body is full on collapse. You could walk up to that cow and stab it in the eye with a knife. She won't get up. She can't move. Her body's had it. It's capiche. We broke her body. From the moment these animals are born, we break their souls, we abuse them, and then soon as they're old enough to give birth, we've got our fists up their anus and we're artificially inseminating them, and they're ripping their babies from their bodies and then killing their babies with a sledgehammer, because that's standard practice and RSPCA approved. These are all the things the farming industry wants to hide from you, because they know that any good person who would hear the truth about how animals are treated in farms, that they would make steps in not contributing to such acts of violence to other living beings that we share this planet with. Cows are pregnant for 9 months and they form a bond with their babies as strong as a human does. They feel their babies kick, and when they give birth it's painful. It's very painful, just like a human's birth. And as soon as she's given birth, that baby's taken away. And do you know why that baby's taken away? Because the farmer doesn't want that baby drinking its own mother's milk, because he wants money for every last drop. He wants all of your money to take that milk away from that baby. So many milk alternatives. You don't have to buy dairy. Dairy is not made for human consumption. We are not baby bovines. We are humans. As baby bovines, when a baby cow is born, that baby cow's got to be up on his feet within a couple of hours. That breast milk has got to give it the best chance in life from the moment it's born. When we're born, we can't even lift our own head up for God knows how long. Can you see the difference? Baby bovine, baby human. It's not made for human consumption. We're supposed to have breast milk from one animal, and that's our own mothers. Not drinking breast milk of another animal. Would you drink the breast milk of a dog, or a giraffe, a hippopotamus? How about a cat? It sounds ironic, doesn't it? So why do we think, oh well, baby bovine, I can just drink that? Don't be silly. It's not fair. These cows, if they have a baby that is born male, it is standard practice here in Australia that we kill baby cows with a hammer to their head, a sledgehammer to their head. And for those who don't know, cows have incredibly thick skulls. Real thick skulls, a lot thicker than humans. I have personally been to dairy farms and got out baby cows that have been hit on the head and been thrown into a bin left to die. That's standard practice in this country. It's standard practice and carries on happening because people want to splash a bit of milk on their coffee when you don't have to. And to get these cows pregnant, they have to be put into a crusher. And for those who don't know what a crusher is, in the farming industry, it's commonly known as a rape rack. They lead cows into these crushers with a head harness on her head or a ring through her nose, and they lead her in. And the way cows' legs are shaped, they have a bar that goes behind them so they can't even kick. The farmer will put a glove on and then put his whole fist into that cow's anus all the way up to his shoulder. He will then get a tube and then he'll enter that into her vagina and then inject bull semen into her vagina. Now if a man was to do that to me, what would he be done for? Do you really believe that humans are the only animals on this planet that can be raped? This is madness what they've been allowed to get away with to these animals, and call it fancy words like artificial insemination, because I know if a man restrained me and did that to me, he'd be going to jail. We do it on a mass scale to non-human animals, and we like to call it farming. I've worked on dairy farms, and that's what sent me vegan. I was that vegetarian who went to work on a dairy farm because my favourite animals are cows. That was like a sledgehammer to the face of reality. What's happened to that? When I worked on a dairy farm, I witnessed them drown a baby cow because she was sick. They drowned her and then left her body dead amongst the other baby cows for days because it kept the flies off his face. Farmer's mentality. Farmer's mentality compared to the truth of we love our animals. If we love their animals so much, then why do we cut their horns off with no painkillers, no numbing agents or nothing? That's like me cutting your arm off with no painkillers. Would you do it to a dog? No. That's because there's no love in slavery. This is modern day slavery. And what they've been allowed to get away with doing this to these animals has gone on for far too long. And it needs to stop. When the cow, she's usually used for about 3 to 5 years of age. Sorry, 3 to 5 before her body collapses and she's sent to slaughter. Normally, cows can live to about 25 to 30 years of age. When I worked on the dairy farm, all I could see 40-degree days, a whole bunch of pregnant mothers huddled round one tree trying desperately to get a bit of shade. And if you were to do that to horses, do that to dogs, you'd be done for animal cruelty and sent to jail if you were to treat your dog the same way that we treat cows or pigs or sheep or any animal for that matter in farms. This is absolutely nothing more than animal cruelty. And when her body's collapsed and can't take it anymore, if she manages to walk to the slaughter truck and walk off the slaughter truck, some of them collapse. It's called a downed cow. Google it, downed cow. You can do whatever you want to that animal, she won't get up. She's collapsed. Some of them get picked up by a forklift truck, thrown onto a slaughter truck, where then she'll have to sit there in misery with cows standing all over her until she gets to the bloody slaughterhouse, where she'll be the last one to go in because she can't walk, and then they'll pick her up and then basically drag her to her death. When I've been to slaughterhouses, you can smell the blood from the gate. I've been to slaughterhouses where I've witnessed mothers giving birth in the queue. Giving birth is supposed to be one of the happiest times of our lives. It's supposed to be a joyful experience. But here we are, forcing these other animals that we share this planet with to go through absolute misery just because they're born in a non-human body. So after a lifetime of misery, these cows line up for their own execution of their own death. They can smell the blood. When I've been into slaughterhouses while they're operating, there's an atmosphere only a slaughterhouse worker would know. And these animals that have been in there would know. Even now talking about it gives me goosebumps. And it's this horrible, horrible feeling We've all walked in a room where we can feel a negative energy. Imagine hundreds of people crying, begging in fear and stressing that something's going to happen. Don't know what's going to happen. You walk into that, even slaughterhouse workers. Slaughterhouse workers suffer with the highest rates of post-traumatic stress disorders. Is it any wonder? Can you imagine killing animals for a living? One after the other as they're all bellowing, some giving birth in the queue. That's not fair. They line up for their own execution, their own death, do the walk of death where they're cattle prodded, kicked and punched to the last moments of their own death. Most people think the bolt gun kills cows. It doesn't. It renders the animal unconscious. It's a stunning method. It is not uncommon that animals in slaughterhouses are having their feet cut off while they're still alive. They're having their skin cut off while they're still alive, and for a massive percentage of ex-dairy cows that are sent to slaughter pregnant, like their mothers have a bolt gun to their head, they go on a bleeding line, so they're hung up, upside down, surrounded by their friends and their family, bleeding out with their throat slit, and then they're having their feet cut off while they're still alive, they're having their skin cut off while they're still alive, and for their baby that is in their womb is ripped from their body and thrown onto a slaughterhouse floor. I don't care who you are, but nobody deserves to come into this world that way or leave the world that way. That is not fair. That is nothing more than Nazi. It is wrong. And that baby, the first view of its own mother and of this world, is being thrown onto a slaughterhouse floor. Its first view of its own mother hung upside down, thrashing around in pain. Because that is RSPCA approved. If you were to do that to your dog, you'd be banned from having dogs for life, and you'd certainly be sent to jail and deemed a psychopath by the community. So why do we see this as deemed acceptable just because we do it on a mass scale? This is disgusting what we're allowed to get away with to non-human animals.